Welcome to Thinking Thursday for June 6, 2024. I hope you're all doing well and thank you for being here. June 6th is an important day in our history. If you go back 80 years from this June 6th, 1944, that was D-Day, right? Most of us know from our history that that was a very important, if not the most important, significant battle, the battle with Germany and Europe. General Eisenhower, who became president, really had this important quote that I want to start this conversation around priorities for today. Most things which are urgent are not important. And most things that are important are not urgent. We're going to talk about priorities, and I want to talk about D-Day because we had to manage a lot of priorities that day. For most of you who have read history or watched some of the historians talk about this topic, that invasion was almost canceled because of weather, and it had been postponed because of weather. A lot of priorities, a lot of pieces of logistics, 4,300 vessels in that movement, 130,000 men hit the beach, 20,000 vehicles, a lot of moving parts with different countries and so on. So Eisenhower got really good at managing priorities, and I want to talk a couple minutes about his major contribution to a management administration called the Eisenhower Matrix or the Eisenhower Box. I want you to think of it in terms of quadrants. It was a way to kind of manage tasks, right? So he had 4 quadrants. The upper right-hand corner, looking at it this way, upper right-hand corner are the urgent and important tasks, and he says you should do those things. And those are really things like deadlines and crisis and problems. Can't put them off, can't delegate them. As a leader, you got to deal with them, right? In the lower right-hand side, the lower part, so that would be high importance but lower urgency, you should schedule those things. And those are things like planning and building relationships and doing things. You can't avoid that stuff. It's important, but it's not the highest priority. Starting at the top on the left-hand side now, the low importance and high urgency, you got to delegate them. That's a trait that's really not that easy to do for a lot of leaders, is handing off things and helping people below and helping you get some things done. So you got to give them authority. You got to give them some power to do the things they need to do. And finally, in the lower left-hand corner, low importance and low urgency, you got to try to get rid of those things, give them to somebody else, or hopefully eliminate them from your responsibility. Now, this idea of priorities is a really important aspect of leadership. And as leaders, we should always be thinking about what our priorities are. And those priorities shift maybe minute by minute, hour by hour. John Maxwell, in the 21 Irrefutable Laws, the number 17 law talks about the law of priorities. Activity is not always necessarily accomplishment. Activity is not always necessarily accomplishment. In that chapter, he talks about 3 R's. 3 R's to kind of help us when we're figuring out what our priorities are. Number 1, what is required of us? What is required of me as a leader? 2, what gives the greatest return? Where do I get the highest bang for the buck? In helping to prioritize things, what gives us the greatest return is the second thing. And third, what is the greatest reward? What is the greatest reward? Those 3 things should be helping us figure out what is important and what is less important and what we can delegate. And as President Eisenhower would say, maybe even eliminate some of those things. Here's my offer for the week. If we're talking about priorities, which is part of what we should be learning and exercising and getting really good at as leaders, we should be thinking about how good we do that. We should be getting people to help us with our priorities. Are our priorities right? Are they in the right framework? Are we doing the right things that give us what we should be doing, that give us the greatest return, that give us the greatest reward, that help us grow some of the people that are working with us by giving them some of the responsibilities that we have? So my offer is a 30-minute coaching consultation. Reach out to me at thinkingthursday@browningadvisors.com, and let's talk about scheduling 30 minutes to talk about where coaching is right for you. You know, coaching helps you get from where you are to where you want to be. Not a counselor, doesn't help with the past, but we learn from the past and we try to use that to get where you want to be. I'm there to help. Let's see if I can help you. Thank you all very much for listening today. I truly appreciate it. Reach out to me, give me some feedback on what you're getting out of these videos, and take care, and I'll see you next week.